Hello, everyone, and welcome to Magical Witchy World TV. And tonight, again, this is Star Ravenhawk,
And I'm Rhonda Allen.
and tonight,
And tonight we are.
sorry, go ahead, sweetie.
No, go ahead.
Tonight, we're
I
proud
was
to
going to say
welcome
tonight.
Jade Aurora to the Magical Witchy World TV.
Right on.
Hey.
Hi, good to see
Hey.
you. So glad to have you with us here
Yay!
tonight.
Welcome, Jade.
Yay! Okay.
And sorry. So I just wanted to say, first of all, sorry about that. We were both trying to just to jump in and to introduce you. So welcome and welcome. We're really excited to have you here with us tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um, Before we actually get into our interview, let's go ahead and introduce everyone to who you are. So let me go through your bio. Jade Aurora is a Michigan based artist, illustrator, model, cosplayer, and entertainer. She is also the author of the adult urban fantasy series Motor City Witches, which made its debut in 2020. Jade can be found on her Linktree at Linktree Jade Aurora 1989. And we will stream that on our screen as we go through tonight's interview. So thank you and welcome again
Thank you for
to the
having
show
me.
tonight.
Yay! All
Right
righty.
on.
So we will kind of begin with our questionnaire that we usually have, our Q&A with everyone. And so tonight we wanted to kind of start it with I know that over the years many people kind of give themselves different titles or names as they call themselves, whether they're priestess or witch or whatever it is. So if you can take us through a little bit of that about, through the years, what you've called yourself and what you call yourself now.
So, in the beginning, I called myself Wiccan or pagan because that's where that was like what I started with. But
Right.
then now I mostly just call myself a witch. I'm an eclectic witch. So,
Well
I
said.
understand. I understand
Yeah.
entirely.
And and I what you just said is so we're hearing that quite a bit that people do we ask this question for a reason because people do tend to shift over time how
Yeah.
they see themselves and how they what their practice takes them
right.
to. So let's go backwards in time a little bit and just ask the question, what brought you to this world? What was it that made you realize this is who you are?
I guess I've always been fascinated with the supernatural or anything dealing with magic because as a kid, I still am obsessed with Disney, but as a kid, I grew up on
Mhm.
Disney movies. I used to stay up late when I was supposed to be sleeping and I would watch Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie reruns. I used to
Mhm.
watch shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Charmed, and then middle school I got obsessed with Harry Potter. So
Yes.
it's just I've always had an interest in it, but what really got me into it, I was 14 years old, and my parents and I were at the mall, and we walked into the bookstore, and there was a book
Mhm.
called Teen Witch by Silver Ravenwolf, and what
Great.
Yes.
what piqued
Great.
my
Yep.
what piqued my interest was the fact that it was in the nonfiction section. So I was like, maybe somebody put it in the wrong section. So I skimmed
Hmm.
through it and I was like, so people actually do this in real life. Because whenever I hear about witches, I always think of, movies and television. I didn't think people actually practiced it. So it
Mhm.
piqued my interest. And then, like, almost 2 weeks later, I got my report card. And because I got good grades, my grandma gave me some money. So I actually went to the mall and bought the book.
Yay.
Fabulous.
Excellent.
Fabulous.
That is awesome. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And we've had Silver on the show in our interviews too. So it's really nice to hear
Mhm.
Yeah.
that that it's
Exactly.
made such an impact on a lot of people.
Yeah.
I love her books.
So
I love her
much.
books. Just FYI. Okay, so from your point of view, what does it mean to be a witch?
I felt to be a witch is someone that's in tune with themselves. in tune with the energies around them and within them, those that are, connected with their ancestors and the spirits around them. That's what and someone who does magic, that's what I feel it is to be a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because people, a lot of, there's so many people that condemn witches and think that we're evil, but all we're doing is using the energy around us to create change in our lives. It's the same
Right.
as if someone's saying a prayer, you're calling on higher power to manifest what you want in your life.
Right, right. Oh,
Precisely
that's a
so.
great answer.
Well said. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about how you include your practice in your daily life, how is it that you fit magic into your life? How does it fit in your day to day?
Usually I start my day like I can simply like do meditation, say affirmations. Like
Mhm.
I identify mostly as a glamour witch and I work with
Mhm.
Aphrodite. So like I'll say affirmations while in the mirror or as I'm
Beautiful.
getting ready. I'll probably sit in front of my ancestor altar and like talk to my just to say good morning and things like that.
Mhm.
So that's how I kind of incorporate it into my daily life. Like I don't do spells every day, but it'll be just
Mhm.
as simple as like saying hello to my ancestors and talking to them, or just like saying affirmations. And as you see, I have a rose quartz and carnelian bracelet. Like I will wear my
Yes.
bracelets throughout the day.
Right, right.
Excellent. 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 No, that's really good because what I'm hearing is that it is truly that magic truly is just it's a part of your everyday. It's not something that you I mean, we can, yes, make it special,
Right.
but it's just a part of how you live,
Right.
and
Right.
that
Right. And
that
which
is
is which
cool.
is the best thing to be, because a lot of
Yeah,
people treat it as if it's their fad or a fan of it, and
right,
rather than who they are. And that's what a lot of people don't
exactly.
realize.
Right.
So
Especially
you're saying
nowadays
basically,
where it's
yeah,
become more of a trend because you got shows like American
yes,
Horror Story and things like that.
yeah,
So like there's
Mhm.
people that do it for the aesthetic, and there's
Yes,
nothing necessarily wrong with that if the aesthetic is what draws you to it, but it's more than that. And what it's like you have to
right.
be willing to do the work and
yeah,
educate yourself on
absolutely.
what it is.
Yes. Very, very,
Absolutely.
very well said. Very well said. All right. So if you can give us a little bit about what's important to you, kind of like, like not just in your magical world, but in general or within the magical world, if that's what it is.
I am somewhat of an empath, so it's like it's really important that I am around energy that's good for me. I
Mm,
don't like being around people that are toxic or stagnant because that tends
mhm.
to kind of affect me mentally. So it's
Right.
really important that I am around people that have a positive influence or people that have my best interest.
Excellent. That and what I'm hearing right there is talking about self-care and
Yes.
and and
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the
self
That's a
care
big
is
the
deal.
definitely, and also I'm a
yeah.
Pisces, so it's like
Oh, right on.
so I'm sensitive.
Yes, yes, exactly. But that's important, owning that and really doing the things that are necessary for you to stay in a good state, in a very positive and healthy
Right.
state.
Yeah.
Um, Taking it into a different direction now, let's look at, what's the work that you feel is important within the community that you're in locally, within the pagan community in general, but what's important to you with your work within community right
So, of
now?
course, like me as a black woman, I'm also pansexual, so I'm part of the LGBTQ plus community. I truly
Mhm.
believe justice work is important to protect the community as well as because with the current social and political climate that we're dealing with, I feel
Yeah. Yeah.
protection and justice work are important.
Yeah.
Excellent. That is so well said. We can't have we can't have too much of that as far as I'm
Yeah, and
concerned.
also, I
Right.
also
Yeah.
am a Hecate devotee, and she
Mm,
protects the marginalized.
right, right. That is
Yeah.
excellent.
And
Right on.
it's funny that hearing you say it, and we've heard others say it over the time too. Um, Basically, we're telling everybody in our communities, um, it's time to pick up the sword or the lantern of activism in one form or another, defending ourselves and putting ourselves out there. Because if we don't, we will be one of the others. We've been one of the others for so long,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
first as a
yeah,
black person, but as a witch, they've been othered for so long,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
different religions and different times coming through, that we more than ever should understand when they're othering other peoples, whether
mhm,
it's the LGBTQ community or the other races or whatever it is.
Right.
We should be understanding that and picking up the
mhm.
torch for that and moving forward with it. So it's great to hear all of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is there anything in particular that you're involved with in support of the community that, I mean, in support of LGBTQ issues or what have you? Is there anything particular that you want to bring mention to that you're
So
working with
I'm
right
not
now?
a part of like any organizations, but I do try to like read up on like different organizations that I'm planning on either volunteering with or donating to.
Mm,
Like I know the
mhm,
Human Rights Campaign is one,
Right.
and
mhm,
I also believe a form of activism is calling out injustice and speaking up on it when you see it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
well said.
Yep. That I love.
Exactly.
Yes, being the anti, because
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I'm going to give an example of, you have the Karen and then you have the anti Karen now. They've got the
Hmm.
anti Karens coming in, so that's a form of activism, preventing
Yeah.
that person from ridiculing whatever or whomever,
yeah.
and
Yes.
that's something you've got to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I even consider my books in a way of form of activism, because even though it's
Mm,
fantasy and they're fiction,
mhm,
because it takes place in Detroit and the main characters they're black women, I do
mm,
touch on real issues that we deal with, like misogynoir. One of the characters
mm,
deals with colorism, and then
Mhm.
think another thing I touched on is how the black community does not really take mental illness or mental health seriously, because one of the protagonists is a fraternal twin, and when they were 13 years old, her twin sister basically lost her battle with mental illness because she suffered from depression. And
mm.
unfortunately, we still have a lot of work to do, because there's still people in this
Yeah,
community thinking that you can just pray it away. And that's not,
Right.
you can't do
that's not how it is. It does not work like that. That's
Yeah,
excellent.
that's it.
As you
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, as you mentioned your books just now, you said it's called Motor City Witches.
it. Motor
This
City
the
Witches, yes.
Yeah, I would love to read it because it sounds like something
Mhm.
I would love to read.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like,
Um,
yes.
Go ahead. No, no, no. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Tell
so
us.
like I said, I also read it because black representation. I also included LGBT representation, because it's only recently that our community is represented in the fantasy genre. Because
Right.
before that, we were either the token characters or the background characters. So that's kind of why I said my books, in a way, are a form of activism, because I'm
Yeah.
pushing against you know
Certain
those that don't
stereotypical
want us
things.
to be visible in these genres.
Mm.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I absolutely 100%. Yeah, I see your work as in fact being activism, because you are in fact trying to stretch or break through or shatter some boundaries, some walls there that are, break through. That's
Yeah, and
necessary.
they
That's
and they
activism.
include there's actual spiritual practices done in the book series.
Well,
Oh
I love
goodness.
that.
Yeah. So
So yeah,
guys,
we're gonna
don't forget
have to
Motor
find
City
that.
Witches. You look out for
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna.
book. Is it
I'm.
on Amazon?
It's on, and so under my link tree, there's all the links to get copies. They're on Amazon.
Okay.
They're on my publisher's website, which is Black Gold Publishing. They are also now on the Barnes and Noble websites.
Awesome,
Fabulous.
awesome, awesome, awesome. That's
And your
excellent.
publisher, is the publishing house local to Detroit
It's
also?
it's
Is that
actually in Virginia, but it's a black
in
owned
Virginia?
publishing house.
And just I love
Nice,
that.
nice.
Well
Yeah,
done.
very well done. Thank you. That's so awesome.
So, yeah.
So, what would you like to see us as witches accomplish, just in general, or maybe within the community, or like you said, with some of the things that you're pushing back on?
Definitely try to change the stigma against us.
Yes.
That's definitely important because people fear what they don't understand.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
This
Yeah,
is true. This is true.
and again, taking that back to representation, just people if they can see us moving through the world as, as just other people.
Right.
One of the real reasons Star and I have this program is because we want to just show that witches,
Exactly. Exactly.
however we present, we're people.
Yeah, like
Yes.
We're people like other
we're
people.
not flying around on broomsticks and we don't have
Exactly.
Right.
green skin and warts. You got witches that are doctors or nurses. There's witches that are
Precisely.
teachers. There's witches that are lawyers. Like we're like regular people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And demystifying it is all part of it. It reminds me of in the movie The Purge. Um, the one of the guys asked the other guy, you don't like me, right? Because I am whatever race he was. And he said, not that I have anything against you guys. It's not that. I just think, you don't understand my culture and I don't understand your culture. So you should stick with your own. That kind of, that was his words. And that's what he
Yeah.
believed. And that's what we see and hear from people without them even saying it. That's what they're
Mhm. Mhm.
essentially saying.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the whole idea of the show is to demystify all of that and say there is no culture shock or no anything. It's just a matter of getting to understand where we're coming from with it.
Right.
It's the
Yes.
same thing with
Yeah.
race and so-called cultures. The cultures just mean it's your tradition of how you practice a particular thing in your home or your family tradition of,
Right.
a different people's. That's all it is.
Mhm.
Still the
Mhm.
same. It's just coming from a different point of view. Nothing more. So there shouldn't be anything to demystify, but it feels like we need to do that,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of a thing. But yeah, thank you so much. That
That,
is
that
great. Yeah.
So, what projects do you have coming up or are thinking about? Anything in particular?
So I am currently working on the third book in the Motor City Witches series. It is a
Yay.
trilogy, so I'm working on the third book. I'm also
Fabulous.
thinking of writing a prequel for one of the protagonists, like their origin story, where
Mm.
because I did mention in like the second book, her powers that she didn't really fully come into her powers until she was like 18. And
Mm.
so I'm planning like this book would deal with like bullying and like her high school experience because that's something I personally experienced. Because
Right.
this
Right. Okay.
character is my self insert character basically,
There we go.
and
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I'm also thinking of writing an occult anthology series. Like I don't know if you're
Mhm.
familiar with the opera Carmen.
Mhm.
I actually
Mhm.
thought about
Yep.
maybe doing an occult retelling, especially when you look at like the movie Carmen Jones and you notice how
Yes.
possessive and obsessive he got over her. And I
Right.
was like, what
Yeah.
if the reason he became that way is because she did like a love binding on him?
Right. Or
Mm.
something to that.
That is a fabulous
Yeah.
idea.
I can't wait to see
Make it
where that
so.
goes. I can't wait to see where that goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's one of your projects. Okay, so what about events? Are you going to be at any events during the rest of this year or maybe next year?
So not as far as this year, no, but in January. So this where doing cosplay comes in. So a couple of my friends, they're doing an anime convention. It's called Ishocon, and it will be in Michigan in January. I'm actually going to
Oh,
be one of
wow.
their guests.
Oh,
Oh wow,
fabulous.
nice, nice. That's
EcoCon
excellent.
in
You got to let us know
January.
about
Yeah,
that and where that's going to be. That sounds pretty cool.
yeah,
And
You
people
know,
can find that also just grabbing your link tree.
right.
yeah,
right? So I'm just going to stream that once more down here, once more. Wow. So lots of things
Yeah.
coming through, lots of projects happening. Yes, people can find you here. Check out the link tree, Jade Aurora 1989 on Linktree. I can't thank you enough. We can't thank you enough for spending time with us tonight.
Yeah.
It has been a pleasure.
Thank
It has
you.
been a joy. You've got some really cool projects, and I'm really gonna. I have to find your books because I'm really curious
Me
about
too,
reading them
because
now.
yeah, because this kind of this Q&A with you kind of let us delve a little bit more into who you are
Right.
and what
Yeah,
you are all about. And now you make us want to go and read your books right away.
yeah,
I
exactly.
gotta I gotta go download the book as soon as I can and go read it or something
Yes. I
because
believe under
it
my
sounds so
link tree,
interesting.
I do have a sneak peek into my first book on Wattpad, and I believe my Wattpad link is
Oh,
under my link tree. So it's like the
fabulous.
first 6 chapters.
Oh
Oh,
my
awesome.
gosh. All right. So then
Okay.
I'll start there, but then we have to, support the cause and purchase a
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
So
I
there's
prefer
that
that,
too.
I mean, it's nice to
Yeah.
have sneak peeks and stuff, but supporting is a
Yeah,
big
Support the
kind of
deal,
like I'm
community.
giving,
you know.
giving a little taste, and it's like, okay, if you want the rest, you got to go get the book and read it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right
But
on.
go do it and go, let's support one another with everything, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
thank you so
Thank
much for being with us
Thank
tonight.
you. Thank you so much for being with us. And now a word from our
you.
sponsors.
All right. Well, all right,
Stand
people. It's astrology
by.
time. So
Yes.
part of what we wanted to do tonight is going to be the first part of a three-part or 3 to 4 part educational series on certain parts of astrology, because I have a tendency to put up, because I find it funny, like these funny memes on astrological memes on my profile, and it kind of gives, I guess, what you will call mostly the stereotypical versions of what each of our signs are based on whatever it is that's being said, you know and people either would say it's spot on, or it's, different things that they say, oh, that's not me, why are they all, who wrote this, and there's things like that. And I have to always be saying to people, it all depends on where you are in that sign, basically. Don't get all out of discombobulated and everything. It's all based on where you are in that sign. So tonight we're going to kind of begin with that, and it's talking about the decans in astrology. So, and with the decans, it kind of gives you an insight, a more precise description of who you are within your sign. And decans are, I don't know if you've heard the name or the name before, but it just kind of gives you a nifty way of breaking down the qualities of each individual sign by separating each one into thirds of 10 degrees. So there are 3 different types of each zodiac sign. The meaning of the cans are basically what they are. They don't relate. If sometimes some people would say, well, that does not relate to me, or they might say, did you know that that it does not really talk about me much or whatever. Forget about that, and just go with what I'm saying in terms of how it breaks down into that. Okay, so there are 3 different types within each zodiac sign. In astrology, they say things like Geminis can be
Mhm.
two-faced, Tauruses are more stubborn than a drain clog, and Virgos are so nitpicky that their behavior alone will drive you insane. Things like that. But have you ever been the subject of these one-size-fit-all descriptions? Because we've all been given that, right? Well, you're Aries, you're whatever, or you're Scorpio, you're whatever.
Mhm.
You know, so it's kind of like a bit feeling like they're misunderstanding you as that sign, and they like giving that broad brush across with every type of signs. So we're going to break it down for you guys that it makes sense, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So within the three of them,
Yeah.
the three decans of each sign, it refers to like the subdivisions within each zodiac sign, broken up by degrees. On the zodiac wheel, there are 360 degrees that represents the sky, which is then divided into 12 sections, right? Each are governed by one of the 12 zodiac signs. And you're familiar with those. We all are, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, dealing with people who all know that it's broken up into 12 zodiac
Yeah.
signs. And each zodiac sign takes up 30 degrees of the zodiac wheel. And with the first decan situated within the first 0 to 10 degrees, the second one stretches over 11 to 20 degrees, and the third one encompasses 21 to 30 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Because each zodiac sign accounts for only 28 days, the decans will be approximations of the days, depending on the shifting degrees. In order to locate which decan your signs fall under, you'll want to start with your birthday. So, the first 10 days of your sign is the first decan, approximately um, uh, approximately 10 days. And the second 10 days of your sign is the second decan. And approximately the third one is the next 10 days. Okay, and that's generally how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Your decan will depend on when you were born and what during that zodiac sign solar season is.
Yes.
Okay.
So, if you're born within the first 10 degrees of your zodiac sign, which is again approximately the first 10 days of each astrological season, you will be ruled by the same sign and planet, meaning Virgos born from August 22nd to August 31st. You will be Virgo ruled by Mercury, with sub-ruler Virgo ruled by Mercury, showing up like a typical Virgo would. So that's that typical Virgo in that first 10 days. However, once you get into the second and third decan of each sign, it can get a little more complex and unlike the stereotypical versions of each zodiac sign. As decans progress, your secondary ruler will be based on something called triplicity, which is the group of zodiac signs represented by the same element. So, if you're an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, your secondary ruler will also be an earth sign. The first decan of each sign is going to be the same sign and planet. However, the second decan will always be the next sign in that same element. So pay attention to the elements and their signs. Fire element signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Earth element signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Air element signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And the water element signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We have Aries again, March 21st to April 19th. Taurus, April 20th to May 20th. Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. And we
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, Cancer, we have June 21st to July 22nd, Leo, July 23rd to August 22nd, Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd, Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd, Scorpio, October 23rd to November 21st, Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 1st. And then we have Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th, Aquarius, January 20th, and Pisces, February 19th to March 20th.
Okay. So basically, tonight we're going to speak about Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. And then on September 29th, we're going to do Cancer through Scorpio. Sorry, it's Cancer through Sagittarius. And then October, we're going to do Capricorn through Pisces because we're not going to be able to do all of them tonight.
Right.
Okay. All right. So how do we find that decan? I think I mentioned some of that to you guys. So part of this will be you doing a bit more research deeper into what the planet and zodiac sign that you're in and what your sub ruler means to you. It will give you a deeper insight into who you are and what makes you tick. So let's go in a bit with the signs. So Aries, you'll of course know who you are. March 21st to the 30th is your first decan. That's the Aries decan. The first decan of Aries season will present like the typical Aries, bold, innovative, fearless, and embodies leadership qualities to their very core. These folks are doubly ruled by Mars, so they are action oriented and can come off brash to those who take a slower approach to life. When agitated, their quick response emotion is usually anger that stems from emotional reactivity. However, with time and patience, this first decan can become gentle and soft natured in their approach to life, while still staying true to their innate desire to explore and lead the way for others that follow in their lives' footsteps. Next, April 1st to the 10th is the second decan, and that second decan is a Leo decan. So Aries born under the Leo or the second decan are more likely to steal the spotlight and desire a bold, aesthetic approach to life. These folks are natural born performers and can tend to be more creative than a typical Aries. Decan 2 Aries will want to catch the eye of potential romantic suitors, friends, business partners, and the masses more than their Decan 1 neighbors because the sun is their secondary ruler. They are ruled by their ego and rely heavily on their outward expression to define themselves. Okay? The ones from April 11th to April 19th, you're the third decan, and your decan is Sagittarius. So the decan Aries 3, the decan 3 Aries enjoys traveling, philosophizing, and learning about different cultures more than Aries would. They sometimes have a harder time committing to relationships and jobs as they have very nomadic spirits, tending to be the leader of the pack even at their jobs if they choose to work for others. They tend to prefer their own businesses and owning their own homes. They are highly optimistic and prone to good luck, as their subruler is Jupiter, the sign of prosperity and successful expansion.
Mm-hmm. Now, the second sign we're dealing with tonight is Taurus. Those born April 20th to the 29th in that first decan, this is the Taurus decan. So the decan 1 Tauruses will show up more stereotypically. They enjoy structure, predictability, and loyalty in their lives and have an affinity for the finer things in life. They are primarily and secondarily ruled by Venus, so they are suckers for aesthetically pleasing homes, art, outfits, and environments. Having their senses heightened as often as possible is important to them. They prefer to work smarter, not harder, and although they don't necessarily need to present as lazy, you would be hard pressed to find a Taurus that enjoys working hard if they don't have to. Second decan Taurus. So those born between April 30th and May 9th, this is the Virgo decan. Um, decan 2, Tauruses are sub-ruled by Mercury as they are the Virgo decan. These folks will present as more meticulous, calculated, rigid, and prone to perfectionism than their decan 1 neighbors. They are more helpful, focused on philanthropy, intellectual, and curious than the traditional Taurus would be. Third decan, Taurians, born May 10th to May 20th, are aligned with, that's the Capricorn decan, the third decan, Capricorn. And they are sub-ruled by Saturn, making them success driven and focused on titles and accolades. They are motivated by money, accomplishments, and tend to be more hardworking and ambitious than other Taurians.
There you go. Okay. You see how different they all are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we're moving on to Gemini. May 21st to 30th, born in that time. They are the Gemini decan. And that's that these folks will show up in textbook Gemini fashion. curious and witty, chatterboxes that are often hard pressed to commit. They are knowledgeable, social, and enjoy getting a taste of everything that the world has to offer, causing them to lean toward a more free spirited lifestyle. They enjoy banter and debates at the cost of peace.
Hmm.
Those born May 31st to June 9th is Decan 2, Libra Decan, and are sub-ruled by Venus as they fall under the Libra decan part of it. These folks are more likely to be charming, romantic, and conflict averse than a typical Gemini. They might even be hopeless romantics who love getting into relationships. Because of this, they tend to work very well in social settings, especially when it comes to facilitating parties and events. Those born June 10th to the 20th, Decan 3, and they are Aquarius Decan. And that, so they're falling under that Aquarius decan. Uranus is Gemini, is their sub ruler. This makes these folks more prone to rebellion, independence, and innovation in the name of embracing their unique nature in this lifetime. They are less concerned about social status and more concerned with adding value on a societal level.
Excellent. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
So this is just the start.
Yes.
And as Star was saying, we're going to have a couple of different segments each Friday
Yes.
on this topic. And then we're going to add in that other little piece and how we use this even when we're looking at the cards.
Yes. So it's like a nice
So,
little 4-part series of teachings on the decan so you can understand yourself better, where you are, and
mhm.
the insight even into further insight into yourself and why you are
Yeah,
in a certain way. Okay.
yeah.
So we're gonna move on from there. So next week, again, I think we're doing what is it?
The
Cancer
next,
through Cancer
we're
through
doing Cancer through Sagittarius. Is that right?
next
No, we're
yeah,
just doing,
Cancer through
yeah, we're doing a
Cancer
bunch.
through Sagittarius next week.
Yeah,
On the
yeah.
29th. Okay. So you guys, for
Fabulous.
those of you who are not seeing that now, it's okay. We'll get to you. All
Yes.
right. Okay. So there
Time
we
to pull some cards.
go. Time to pull some cards on this. All right. So tonight we're going to pull that one tarot card. And you can make it personal if you want, or you can just pull it on the decans that you saw. You might have a friend, a family member, somebody in those signs, and you can see how it relates to them and if it's more accurate towards who their personalities are. Okay, so the signs are Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Okay, so you're going to pull a
Excellent.
card based on that, and let's see what we've got.
One card. Oh. Well, that's funny.
Uh-huh. How'd you do? I
I
can't see
have
it
the
too well.
I have the 8 of Pentacles tonight.
Okay, all
This
right.
is
So,
the 8 of Pentacles, and this card for me is about that person who is so focused on their work, so dedicated to what they're able to accomplish. This person is, um, without jumping ahead to the next work that we're going to be doing, but when we look at the decan that this would fall into, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be the third decan. This would be the third decan based on the number on the card, and we'll jump into that later. So that third decan but it's Pentacles, so it's an earth sign, and we've been dealing with what signs tonight?
Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. So who do you have within
So
those signs?
the Taurus would be our earth sign. So it's the third decan of Taurus, and wherever Taurus would sit, that's the energy that we're seeing here. But that goes into other stuff. Let me just jump into what this card is all about. This card is really just suggesting to us that we're talking about somebody who is really focused on their work, dedicated to whatever it is they're looking to accomplish, and their work is about precision. Precision. They're able to wash, rinse, and repeat, I tend to say. A bit of a perfectionist, but they are absolutely dedicated to making their world as, um, I don't want to just say comfortable, but to making their world as concrete as possible. I'm going to use that word.
Okay. All right. So this is what I got. Can you see that one?
Oh, that's the Nine of Swords?
Yeah, the night girl. Yeah, it's so bright, right? You can see it
Yes.
dead
Oh my
on. It's
gosh.
amazing.
Yep.
And look at how they laying there, right? Nine of swords, but yet they don't care. Look at them.
That exactly. They're like,
The nine of swords, and they're laying lengthwise with it and go on with your bad self. I don't care. I am going
yes,
to come
yes.
through. I am going to make my way, and I have no worries in the world. It's just laying back and enjoying the ride and saying, okay, I see all the obstacles in my way. I see all the things that are coming at me, good, bad, or indifferent, but I'm going to brush you guys all aside, and I'm going to get what I want because I'm not worried. I'm going to sit there, and if you look at him, he's just laying there and look like
That is,
nary a care in the world. It's okay. They're all there, but I will get past it. And
I will
looking at
address
it,
each one.
yes, I will get past each one. I will figure it out. It's just something else that has to be there, and it's okay. And they're kind of sitting on a not entirely on a couch, but it's kind of like a chair and another part to it. So like there's a little opening in the middle of their back, but still
Mhm.
they're like, we're fine. It's
And
like
you know,
being precarious, but yet. See, look.
I really like how that artist projects that energy because most people see the Nine of Swords and they're like, "Oh my God, this person's so sad. They're so
Yeah,
dejected.
yeah,
They're so overcome with worry." But that artist gives you that feeling, yeah, and it does come across like, "Yeah, okay, I'll deal with it.
yeah. I'll just
It's
bat
not
my
gonna
way through
break
all of it.
me. I'll figure it out." I really like how they do that.
Well, not only
And that
that, I'm looking at it and I'm going, this person is not just saying, I'm going to bat it out of the way. They say, I'll take a hold of the handle of each sword and I will
that's right.
utilize the hell out of them. You know,
That's exactly right.
he's just like, these are not enemies. These are tools that I'm being given to
That
use and
that's
utilize
it.
to combat what I've got to face. I'm like, fine. Like being in the apocalypse and knowing that you've got all these weapons waiting right there for you to use to lop the heads off of everything in your way. Hey, man,
That's right.
the way I am
That
saying
is a
this, and
fabulous way of looking at it.
I'm like, I love it. I'm so
That is a
embracing that.
fabulous way of
And it
looking at it.
fits because I'm Aries. I'm the one from the 11th to the 19th
Yes.
and Decan 3,
Yes.
and I'm like Sagittarius Decan, and I'm just like traveling, philosophizing, and learning about different cultures more than that typical Aries, which is, I am so that now that is more dead center me. I love to travel. Um, you know, they sometimes have a harder time committing to relationships and jobs. Yeah, yeah. Because I don't
Okay.
want to
Well,
work for
that's
anyone else. And if I am doing a job for you, I will do it as if I own the shit, as if I own the
right
company.
on.
And a lot of people feel threatened by that. And I've had relationships break up because of that, because people would say, oh, I thought it was your store. I'm like, no, it's not mine, it's my friend's own. I just, because it's my
Okay.
friend, I make sure everything is cool. And
There
then
you
my
go.
friend got upset that people thought I was the owner, and I was just like, okay, I'm done helping you then. you
Listen,
know
you're just trying to make certain the business
exactly,
run.
because I'm not going to be that, I can't be that person who's not taking charge and not doing
Yeah,
the best of my ability, because that's just innately who I
that is
am.
who you are.
So,
Exactly.
and we tend to prefer our own businesses. See, there we go. And
There you
owning
go.
our own homes. And what else do I want? I've always owned. I think I rented once in my life. I've always owned. Because I
That's a
always want to know
beautiful
it's
thing.
mine. You can't take it.
Yes, that's it. That is fabulous.
And optimistic and prone to good luck, as their sub ruler is Jupiter.
There you go.
Hey! So I'm all
I
good. This is more
we're
accurately me. Yes.
that is fabulous. That
Yeah.
is fabulous. This card here is would
Uh-huh.
be the third decan of the Earth, so Taurus. So Taurus third decan is what? Capricorn,
Yeah.
and that's what this card would be related with.
All right.
Um, And that is a really interesting energy because, Capricorns, they're gonna keep climbing, they're gonna keep focused, they're gonna keep
Let
doing
me see.
until they can achieve that whatever
Oh,
that
there you
goal is.
go. Wait. The Taurus
Motivated by
decan, yes.
money.
The Capricorn decan, subruled by Saturn in the Capricorn, yeah, making
Yep.
them success driven and focused on
And focus
titles
on.
and accolades. And they are motivated by money,
Yep.
accomplishments, and tend to be more hardworking and ambitious than other Tauruses. There you go.
And that's what this person is, very
Yes.
focused on accomplishment. This person in the story of the of Pentacles, this is the person who's gone without, and they're never going without ever again.
There
They have
you go. That's
perfected
the
their
way to go.
skill.
That's the way to go.
That's it.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
anyway,
So very
all the
apropos
good
cards
things.
as usual. Okay.
Right on. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So, lots going on. I'm excited to continue this work. This will be fun. This will be fun
Yeah,
over
yeah,
the
I
next
think
several
so. I
weeks.
think so. All
Yep,
right.
exactly.
So,
So, well, we want to say thank you to Jade Aurora again for
yes,
joining
yes,
us
yes, for
tonight.
joining us
It was a
tonight.
fabulous thing having her with us.
Yes. And don't forget to come back to on Friday. We have on September 29th at 10 p.m. for our next guest, Laura Gonzalez. We can't wait to have her with us.
Here's our little spot.
And
Yeah.
don't forget, next also, again, we will make sure that this part 2 of the decans will be coming up. Okay. Again, we will be doing that for you guys. So you can, I think we're going again, what was it to? From what to what again?
We'll be doing, I have to go back, Cancer through Sagittarius.
Okay. On the
Cancer through
29th.
Sagittarius on the
So
29th.
that's a good one. So you guys could look forward to that and for that. And don't forget
Yes.
to check out our new shows that we have. Again, you saw the clip earlier. And again, we want to thank
Mm-hmm.
Jade Aurora for being with us here tonight. And again,
Yes.
Rhonda, don't forget.
Like, subscribe, and please share.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
And please do come on our show. Tell us some ideas and thoughts you have that we can have different shows for you, or maybe a guest that you think would be great for us to have on the show.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. We'd love to have them
All
on.
right.
Thank you all again for watching this week. We will
See you
see
next
you
week.
next
Yay.
Friday. Have a great
Have a
week,
great week.
everyone.